Hey, Rebel Bankers, it's your host, Chris Noggle, and welcome back to the show. I'm here with myself. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about something that keeps coming up over and over again, and it's called the Wealth Marathon. The other thing that I have is I've got a little thing that I'm going to read you that we did, and it was called the Failure Fiction, okay? Because it's so important for me to talk not just about wealth, not just about real estate, but about some of the things you have to be ready for in order to build massive wealth. But not just build wealth, keep the wealth in your family. One of the things that so many people are good at doing nowadays is they are so good at building and making money. They're very good at making money. But the other problem right now is people are good at making money, but they spend it as fast as they make it. They don't teach us how to keep wealth. They keep us on the financial hamster wheel by teaching us how to spend the money that we're getting really good at making. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about not just building wealth, not just making money, but I want to talk to you a little bit about the process of keeping that money in your family. And I want to talk to you about the marathon. Life is a marathon. Building wealth is also a marathon. There is no easy button for it. But before we get started with today's talk on failure fiction and also the marathon, I want to talk a little bit about you. I want to talk about you and your journey to becoming successful, your journey to becoming a rebel banker, because that's really our goal, right? The ultimate in the real estate field, the ultimate in the real estate game is to become the bank. Because that is the ultimate point. But you know, so many people get caught up in money. They're like, well, yeah, Chris, I'll become the bank when I have a bunch of money. No. You need to think about what actual banks do. Do actual banks use their own money? No. Actual banks use our money. They use your money. They use my money. They use everyone else's money to become the bank. So with you getting started, you're going to have to take action. You're going to have to get started. You're going to have to take that leap, and you're going to have to overcome some obstacles, and you're going to have to overcome some hard times. And that's some of the things we're going to talk about. So get started. Grab a copy of my book, The Private Money Guide. If you're learning about where all the money is for all the real estate deals that you want to buy, that's the answer. Get a copy of The Private Money Guide. You can go to moneyschoolrei.com/book and grab a copy of the book right there. So let's jump right into this. Let's talk a little bit about wealth. Let's talk about building wealth and what's required. Most of us have gone our entire lives being taught that money works a certain way. We go out there, we hustle. Some of you are business owners. Some of you are real estate investors. Some of you are W-2 employees. There is no right or wrong, but we are taught to work really hard to make a lot of money to support our families, to support our lifestyles, to do the things we want, to chase our dreams. But for some reason, so many of us are coming up just a wee little bit short on those dreams. We have big dreams, but we allow those dreams to evaporate when we don't hit them quickly. We allow those dreams to evaporate when people get in our head and in our ear about, well, why are you doing that? That's stupid. That's a scam. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Don't do that. Do this. And the funny thing is the people we're taking our advice from are people who have never done what we want to do. You see, in order to get yourself in the right network of people that are doing what you want, you have to seek those people out. You have to put some time in. You have to put some energy in. You can't just sit around waiting for things to come at you. That's not the way the universe works. The universe does not work in a method where things just come to you. Things come to you when you seek them out and when you give. If you give, you get. You hear me say this all the time because it's true. Because I've seen it happen over and over again. Because I've seen the effects of giving. And I've seen how that happens in my life. I've seen how that's happened in every successful person's life that I've met. But the problem with all of this stuff is it takes time. It doesn't just happen overnight. You know, you go out there and you hustle. You go out there and you start making a lot of money. You start spending a lot of money, the fancy cars, the fancy clothes, the fancy vacations. You know, you got to be the big shot because you're watching too much Instagram, watching too much MTV. You see all the guys with all the flash and you want that. Well, wouldn't it be easier and make more sense if you just kind of just laid low, made a bunch of money, but saved a bunch of that money and put that money to work for you. Because if you learned how to put your money and your assets to work for you, guess what you wouldn't have to do? You wouldn't have to work as hard anymore. And you would still have more and more money coming in. But that's the secret, right? That's why the wealthy never, ever don't get more wealthy. Or the wealthy keep getting richer or what do they say? The rich get richer and the poor get poor. That's what they say. And then they blame the rich for getting richer. The rich shouldn't be blamed for getting richer. They're not doing anything wrong. I'm sure some of them are, but most of them are not. All they're doing is they're doing what they've learned to do because they seeked out the knowledge. They found the secret. And that's what you got to do. But you're going to have to work for that. Let me read you this thing that we came up with. This is called failure fiction. Imagine this. After years of late nights and endless work days, stress, hard work, and getting nowhere, all those failed attempts at success and the countless do-overs, you finally made it. You finally made it. And after all that, you've finally reached the level of success that you want. And you know exactly what you're going to do to celebrate such an occasion. Your student loan debt, it's gone. Your dream car you've always wanted is sitting in your dream driveway of your dream house that you now own debt-free. You've even paid off your parents' mortgage. And now, thanks to you, your entire family will spend the holidays together sipping Mai Tais off the coast of Maldives. Your goals, whatever they may be, deserve a fair shot. Don't you think so? Because I do. I've always thought dreams were worth chasing. And now I'm living mine. I often stop and think about how I got where I am today. And the one thing I can tell you is absolutely true. It's not easy, but it's worth it. I started with next to nothing. I grew up with my mom, and we were part of the lower middle class. We lived well below poverty level for many, many years, but we had each other. She supported me, and I inspired her. That's all we needed to get started, and that's all you need to get started. You need someone who believes in you, and my mom is that person who believed in me. Let's fast forward 20 years, and here I am, sitting right here doing this podcast for all of you with a beautiful wife who I adore and a happy life, complete with my dream house, my dream cars, and the ability to have the whole world in the palm of my hand at any given moment. I mean, who could ask for more, right? It sounds like I'm bragging, but I'm not. There's a method to this madness. I'm just trying to help you understand it. So stay with me. Looking back, I wouldn't do anything differently. Not one thing. All those failures that I experienced along the way, they seem so small now. No matter how big they felt while I was living them, no matter how monumentally massive those failures and those hard times felt, they are just a small little glimmer in my past. Every single no I heard, every single red-eye flight I had to take, every scheming employee who wanted to see me fail, it's all part of my story. A story I'm damn proud to tell anyone who's willing to hear it. And now all of you are getting to hear this story. Because here's the thing. You don't get anywhere if you don't get going. And the time is never going to be on your side. So don't think time's on your side. It is not. It never will be on your side. Mistakes are part of every single journey of every wealthy man or woman who has ever sought out to achieve something more. So what's your excuse? What's your excuse for standing still? Albert Einstein once said, a person who has never made a mistake never tried anything new. And you know, he's 110% correct about that. Mistakes, failures, disappointments, whatever you want to call them, they are all part of the bigger picture. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that coming in second place, third place, or last place isn't good. Because if you learn from your defeats, if you learn from your failures, you really haven't lost. That's from Zig Ziglar. When I hear the word no, you have two choices. Or actually, I should say, when you hear the word no, you have two choices. Number one, you can accept that no as defeat and you can give up on your dreams. You certainly can give up. Have on at it. And once you give up, you have to understand that The only way to truly fail is to quit. So when you give up, you quit and you are done. Or number 2, you can brush it off. You can brush the nose off and you can keep on searching for that yes that's right around the corner, because there is always going to be a yes right around the corner. No matter what you let yourself believe, and it's just, no matter what you believe, no matter what happens, no matter what you think, that is exactly what will happen. But if you think there's a yes right around the corner, that yes might be that one thing that changes your entire life. Think about that. Every single no puts you one step closer to a yes. But if you don't believe that there's a yes, you're done. Truth is this. It's so easy to find excuses not to do something, isn't it? You're scared, you're tired, you're sick, maybe you're angry. But I promise you, there is someone out there who kept on pushing. Even when the going got rough, they kept on going. And because they didn't allow their excuses to hold them back, they are now right where they've always dreamed they would be. And it's not money. It's not fame. It's not your social status that separates you from the millionaires and billionaires of the world. Do you know what it is? It's your mindset. It's your mindset. That's what separates you from the millionaires and the billionaires of the world. Make the decision to see your journey through, to reach whatever goals you set, and watch how your life unfolds underneath you. You're going to be amazed at what you can do. And when your head and your heart are on the same page and neither one of them are willing to give up, that is when you're going to realize that anything is possible. And I've experienced that firsthand. Absolutely. But I had to go through hell to get there. I've had to go through failure. I've had to go through ridicule. I've had to go there through just about everything you can imagine. I've had to have things and then I had to give them away. I had to lose things that I held so closely. And every single time I lost things, I learned from that mistake. I learned from that journey, and I learned the most important lessons during my failures. Matter of fact, there's a woman many of you have heard of. Her name's Oprah Winfrey. And do you guys know how her life began? Do you know how Oprah's life began? She came from a family with nothing. There were no trust funds, no safety nets to fall back on. She suffered many tragedies as a young girl, as do many people. But she found a way to the top because she never quit. She never gave up, regardless of her past. And at the age of 32, she became a millionaire. And then she built the Oprah empire. And that Oprah empire catapulted her to the billionaire status. And you all know that Oprah's a billionaire now. But she didn't come from anything. Her humble beginnings were probably much worse than many of yours. But she pushed through it. She understood that building what she wanted, building the Oprah Winfrey empire, was a marathon. And she never quit. And if that's not enough to convince you, I need you to think about some other people, because Oprah isn't the only extremely successful person who's ever came from nothing. Howard Schultz from Starbucks. Yeah, look at his story. It's incredible. It's just incredible. J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter book series. Yeah, he's doing quite well, right? You should check out that story. And those are just a few who overcame insurmountable odds to reach success. And there's countless others. Believe me, there's so many others that I'm not going to talk about. And I encourage you to use their stories to fuel your launch to success. And when you decide that failures be damned, you have to ask yourself one question. And the answer to this question will provide you the final test to determine if you can weather any storm that's going to come your way. And here's that question. This is the question you need to ask yourself. Are you ready to fail? If your answer is anything but yes, you need to remind yourself what you want out of life and how you're going to get it. Remember that failure is normal. And in each failure is a lesson to be learned, not an obstacle to be feared. Never forget that. Never, ever forget. Everyone deserves a chance to get where they want to go, especially every one of you. Every single one of you can succeed. You will succeed, but you need to understand that there are rules that you need to follow, that this is a marathon, it's not a sprint, and that you will fail before you get there. So don't rob yourself of that opportunity and all the subsequent opportunities that are going to come your way. Do not rob yourself of that. Light the world on fire with your gifts. You have a gift. Go out there. Light the world on fire. Tell people your story. Don't ever stop until you find what you're looking for. And I'm going to tell you this, folks, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. During those trials and tribulations, it's going to seem like it's not worth it, but it is. And don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Just go find out for yourself. Your journey is the most important journey. My journey that I've been on just has laid the foundation for you to go on your journey. So begin. Go out there and do it and start today. That's a little thing that we wrote. And we wrote that because I wanted people to understand that you must first fail. And that you must understand that building wealth, building businesses, building the life you want is a marathon, one that you are going to have to venture down. Some of you might get lucky, right? Some of you might come into a windfall of money. Maybe it's an inheritance. Maybe you sell a business and you get a big windfall. But you need to start learning how to keep that money, because we are taught and trained to use money and to go out there and to spend money. We make money, we spend more. We make more, we spend more. And some people are just okay with that, right? That's their philosophy, right? Well, if I'm going to go out and I'm going to spend and I'm going to enjoy it, but then I'm just going to make more. But what happens when you can't make any more? What happens when something upsets the flow? Are you going to be ready for that? Are you going to have your emergency fund ready? You see, it's so much easier than what you think. And I don't have time today to go into all the different things that you need to understand and do to learn how to keep your wealth. But I will give you a video. If you go to my webinar and you watch my webinar about the money multiplier, I will teach you exactly how to keep wealth. I will teach you what the wealthy do so that you can never, ever run out of money. So that your wealth, you will have full control of it. Your wealth will transfer to your next generation, to their next generation. The wealth that I can show you how to build is wealth that will never go away. This is why the wealthy continually keep getting wealthier. It's not like they're doing something very different from what you can do. They just know something. They know something that you don't know. And they have the mindset to succeed. They have the mindset. And that's the thing you need to get. You need to get the mindset. And another thing I want to talk to you about is following the herd. So many people just follow the herd. Let me give you an example. My colleague, Brent Kessler. Brent Kessler tells a story, and this is a wild story. They went to a big seminar, a Zig Ziglar seminar, one of the Tracy seminars, where it's a big motivational seminar, thousands of people. They used to have these big seminars they put on in the early 2000s when times were tough. And I'll never forget, my time during that. I would sit in those things and I'd be like, my gosh, look at all these people. And I got all rah-rahed up, right? You get all jazzed up. The motivational speakers, Les Brown and Brian Tracy and Zig Ziglar, they bring you up to this level that you feel like you can accomplish anything. And then Brent goes on to tell the story on one of the breaks. He and his wife got up because they had to go to the restroom, and so did everybody else. So they walk out into the concession area where the restrooms are. And the very first restroom where everybody kind of filtered out, there was a line a mile long to go to this bathroom. And they're like, wow, there's just got to be another bathroom in this place. So Brent and his wife, they walk 90 seconds down the hall, around the corner. And then right behind another concession stand, kind of hidden a little bit, but right behind the concession stand was another bathroom. But this bathroom didn't have one person in line. And Brent walks into the bathroom and there's nobody in this bathroom. It's just a whole bunch of empty stalls. And he's thinking to himself, wow, I can't believe nobody else found this bathroom. They're all waiting down there in the line. So on the walk back to their seat, they had to walk by that bathroom that had that mile-long line. And all those people are sitting in that bathroom line. And Brent says, hey, y'all. Hey, just so everybody knows, there's another bathroom right down the hall, literally 90 seconds down the hall behind a concession stand. There's nobody in that bathroom. You guys should just go down there. And you know what happened? Nobody in that line moved. Nobody went 90 seconds down the hall to venture and find that other bathroom. And then you got to ask yourself, how can this be? How can this be that there's the answer to your relief is right down the hall, 90 seconds down the hall. And here you are standing in this long line with everybody else, the herd, uncomfortable because you got to go to the bathroom, and you are unwilling to go down the hall. You're unwilling to upset the norm. because you just followed everybody else. Oh, everybody else is going to this bathroom. That's where I'm going to go. And you're at this big motivational seminar learning how to change the world, but yet you can't change the world if all you do is follow everybody else, can you? How can you change other people's lives if you're not willing to blaze your own path? If you're not willing to get out of your comfort zone, if you're not willing to go out there and seek the truth, if you're not willing to find the truth and tell everybody about it, how can you change the world? You can't. Just get in line. You ever see the movie The Matrix? There you go. Everybody was just following everybody else, right? They were just part of the program. But then that one person decided to take the blue pill. I think it was the blue. There was the red and the blue, whatever it was. They took the other pill to see the other side. And that other side wasn't pretty. And nor will your other side be. You can either follow the herd or you can blaze your own path. And I can assure you, blazing your own path is going to be hard. The path that no one else has ever ventured, that's the hardest path. But that is the path that will provide you the life you want. But you got to be willing to put the time in. You got to be willing to put in the work, the effort, and you got to be willing to fail, like I just said. So you have some decisions to make. In your life, you have dreams, you have goals, you have things you want to accomplish. The question really is, are you ready to do that? Is your mindset ready to really chase your dreams? Are you willing to fail? Are you willing to take on the marathon instead of the little sprint that you think is going to get you where you need to be, but it will not? The sprint will always land with you sprinting again and again and again until you're too tired or unable to keep sprinting. The marathon, the tortoise, if you will, remember the hare and the tortoise story? The tortoise always wins, but the tortoise gets there slower because that is how it happens. That's how wealth is built, and that's how you're going to build wealth if you choose. The secrets are out there. The answers are out there. They are all right there for your taking, right there. Every answer you ever wanted for your goals, to obtain your goals, to obtain your success, is right at your fingertips. We live in the digital age. We live in an age where people know the price of everything, but they know the value of nothing. Seek the knowledge. Surround yourself with people who have done what you want to do. People who have failed and been through the war, who have been through the trenches and that have failed and know how to succeed in what you're trying to do. Find them, surround yourself with them. And that might require you to spend money to be in their circle. That might require you to spend money to be part of the mastermind where they go. You might, if maybe you don't have money, maybe you're like, Chris, yeah, that's great, but I don't have any money to pay for these masterminds. Great. Find a way to volunteer your time to help the people putting the mastermind on so that they will allow you to be there. Because just being there, just being present around those people will be enough. And all you got to do is give. If you give, you get. So that's going to be a wrap for today's edition. Short and sweet. But I just wanted to get you thinking about what's really going on here. I wanted to get you thinking about your dreams and what it takes to make sure that those dreams become your reality. So thank you all for joining me for another episode of the Real Estate Money School. And now I hope I've given you some golden nuggets today. I hope I've given you at least one item, one action item to think about. Now you need to go out there and you need to take action on that. You need to do something instead of just sitting around saying, well, that was great. I love that. Go do something about it. Do something. Take a step. Create a vision board. Make an extra phone call. Make one more call to get one more sale that day. Make one more Google search to find the mastermind where the people are that you want to be, and take action and book it. Spend the money. Swipe the credit card. Buy the plane ticket. Do whatever you got to do. Get started on your journey to becoming a rebel banker. And again, if you want to get started somewhere, grab a copy of my book right behind me. The Private Money Guide, Solutions to Finding Money, Where to Go, and How to Ask. You're already watching the podcast, so you're already taking action. Take the next step. There's so many great books out there. So many great books. And I've got a new book coming out. We called it Mapping Out the Millionaire Mystery. And that book, when it's out, which should be January or February, will map out the millionaire mystery. It will show you exactly how to become a millionaire and how to keep wealth, build wealth, and control your wealth. I can't wait for it to be done because it's going to change people's lives, and I hope it starts with changing your life. So thank you all for joining me today, and we will see each and every single one of you at the next edition of the Real Estate Money School. Thank you.